Kolchack the Night Stalker. It's a TV series that started out with two made-for-television movies, and they were both really good. They were eventually integrated into the series. Darrin McGavin plays Carl Kolchack, who is a reporter. In the made-for-TV movies, he starts out in Las Vegas, but they change it when they decided to pick it up as a TV series, and he is in Detroit. And he is working for Tony Vincenzo, and he's got Ron, who's always trying to steal his stories, and he's got Emily, the little old lady, who I think was a witch, in there also. And the story is about Carl Kolchack. Every time, for some reason, every time he got a story and had to go out and investigate a new cruise line, or maybe it was a murder, or maybe it's a new day spa or something like that, it always turned out to be a vampire or a monster, a caveman, something that resembled the Ghost Rider, actually, from Marvel comic books. He fought monsters constantly. It was a horror / comedy type show. Itty bitty, little bitty amount of comedy, tons of horror. When I was a little kid, this show scared the glue out of me, and I loved it. But he would go out and he'd meet, these monsters, and he'd have to figure out a way to defeat them, which is kind of reminiscent for me of like Supernatural, where they go out, they find out, what is it? Is it Rougarou? Is it a Wendigo? Is it a vampire? They had to find out what type of monster they were dealing with, and then they had to go through the book of lore and find out how you kill it. That was him. He did research. He'd go to the library, or old news clippings or whatever, and he'd find out how to kill these monsters, and he'd kill it. This show eventually was a forerunner for the X-Files, and I mean like literally, because it turns out that Carl Kolchack is the partner to Fox Mulder's father. So the main character from the X-Files, his father, FBI agent, is partnered with the guy that from the Kolchack Night Stalker TV show. That character, it's like the first creative universe that I was aware of. Kolchack the Night Stalker and the X-Files and a TV show called Millennium were all the same universe, and eventually they showed how they were all in the same place. So Carl Kolchack eventually leaves being a reporter, becomes an FBI agent, becomes the partner to Fox Mulder from the X-Files. His father, as the character Kolchack, becomes his partner and starts the X-Files, because he knows about some stuff, because he's dealt with it the whole time he was on his other show. It leads into them trying to save the world, from the new millennium, the 2000 thing, which was what the show Millennium was about. So they bring that guy in, I think his name was Frank, they bring him in, kind of end his character, end his show on X-Files. So all three shows were put together by 1013 Productions. That's Chris Carter. He put that together. That was great, actually. And again, it was my first universe type deal. I mean, you had King Kong and Godzilla, they fought, so it showed that they were in the same universe. But this was TV shows. It was those three shows. They were different time periods, but they were all in the same universe, and I thought that was crazy cool. Kolchack is to this day I've got the DVD in the closet. It's one of my favorite shows. I love that show. But his character always got into trouble, always had to fight these monsters and demons and gods and demigods and aliens and Bigfoot and all this kinds of stuff. And he eventually figured out how to kill it or send it back or whatever. That's when I found out how to kill a zombie, because George Romero has people killing zombies with just a shot to the head. Pierce the brain, they die. The reason he did that is because he learned how difficult it was to actually kill one. And the Night Stalker, they show that. You can't just kill a zombie by piercing its head. You have to either climb on top of it and choke it until it dies, because apparently you can choke a zombie to death, or you have to perform a ritual where you fill the mouth with salt. I remember this because it was like, I was like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Fill the mouth with salt, sew the mouth closed, right? It's a zombie, so it's probably going to want to get up and kill you. And then you've got to make this big pentagram type deal, circle thing around it. You got to light these certain candles. I think it was 7, might have been 13, but 7 candles. And then you got to say this chant, you know, and then the zombie would be dead and it'd be done. But if you had to do, if you was a swarm of zombies and you had to do that for all of them, you're not going to live. So George Romero was like, I want to make a zombie apocalypse, man. A ton of zombies. But that takes too long to kill them. So we're just going to pierce the brain, man, and they die. So that's when it changed. But in the Night Stalker, he has to do the real hard work of killing all these different things. You got to find this certain type of wood to make a spear, and you got to do this and do that. All this, you got to learn this incantation. He had to do some work in order to kill these things, and that was, I love that. And nobody ever believed him, ever. So I like that. In fact, I like that show so much that I am going to give Kolchack the Night Stalker eight bags of popcorn. Man, 8 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I think about that. What was your favorite late night horror type show? Creature Feature, Tales of the Unknown, The Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, whatever. Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.